Hello, I am Dr. Sunita Varma, Professor Information Technology Department, GS Institute of Technology and Science. Today we are discussing about the concept of cloud computing, and these are the introductory concept of cloud computing. Starting with the definition. What is cloud computing? A technology of providing the computing services to the user. So not possible from this definition to get the understanding. So let us elaborate more. So first we study different component, computing, services, etc. And then we relate all these terminologies, and then finally we understand what this definition uh, tells about the cloud computing. So one word in the cloud is the computing. Computing word is related to the computing system. It is indicating computing system. Now, computing system, all of you know, is that a system which can perform certain computing tasks. And how we get the idea about the computing task. Suppose we see the movie or on the computer system, or we are managing the document. Many directories are there where we are keeping the document. Whenever we want to access it, is easily available to us. And we can create the document. We can use Microsoft Word, or many softwares are available. By using those software, we can create a document, which is a very convenient way. We can, wherever we want to change easily, we can delete, edit, or add anything we can do in that document. Very complex task is there which are related to mathematics, or those tasks may be the scientific task. For example, targeting a missile to a particular target. So it required very precise calculation and precise operations which are done by the software. So these kinds of the softwares are also available. And these all things what I am explaining are performed by the computer system. So these are the computing tasks which are anything which can be performed by the computer system. Now, if we want to see computing, what are the components which are constituting this computing system? So for working on any computer system, there is a requirement of the hardware. Hardware which consists of CPU, input-output device, etc. So this is the hardware of the system. If the hardware of the system is available to the user, simple hardware is not useful for the user. For operating that hardware, the operating system is required, and that operating system is loaded in the hardware, and it is possible to operate that computer system. But it is not possible to write any software or perform any task. For performing any task or for running any software, there is a requirement of a platform. Platform means the environment in which user write the software or write the code, then can execute the code, deploy the code, and then can be used by the user. So a mechanism which is providing to write the code and to run the code, to deploy the code, that is called the platform. Now, after writing the code and executing the code, we are getting a software. So what is the third component? Software. If user want to perform any task on the computer system, user cannot perform the task without the software. Suppose as a user, you want to do the summation of two numbers. So you want to add two number. For adding the two number on the computer system, it is required to write a code for adding the two number, and then after writing that code, run that code, and then it is possible to perform the addition of two number. So a hardware is there. On the hardware, the operating system is there. But that is not sufficient to cater the need of the user. So to cater the need of the user, there is a need of the software. And for the software, running the software, there is a need of a platform. So all these three components are necessary for the user to use the computer system and to perform the tasks which are desired by the user. As I'm saying that one of the component of the computer system is the hardware. Now, in terminologies of cloud computing system, if we talk about the hardware, it is not only the computer system. Only storage can be defined as the hardware, or only the networking can also be defined as the hardware or the infrastructure of the computing system. So if we talk about the infrastructure or hardware, it is complete computer system. We can call complete computer system means which consists of the CPU, the input output device, and all those things. So a complete computer system is a hardware. Or if you are using only the storage for storing the data, it is also a hardware. Or if we are using only the networking facility, then it is again constituting the hardware part in the cloud computing system. As we talk about, one of the layer is the platform. So platform is the environment where the user can write their software. Many high level languages are there like Python, Java, C, etc. User write their code in this by using these languages. And for writing these languages, the environment is required. First component of the environment is the editor, where you can write the code. So editor is there where the user can write the code. And there are in this editor, the facilities are available for running this code, for to debug this code. All these facilities are available. So after writing the code, the user can run the code. So after running the code, it is possible to give the input to the software and get the output of the software. So the software start working, but for that the platform is required. The third component is the software. So as I'm telling you that if the user want to perform a simple task of the addition of two numbers, then it is necessary to write the code for that. So after writing the code after running the code, it is possible for the computer system to do the addition of two numbers. So for performing any task, there is a need of the software. And this software, uh, the input is given to the software, the output is available from the software, and in this way, it is possible for the user to give the desired input to the computer system and to get the desired task to be done. So computer system can perform the task of the user through the software, software of the computer system. As I'm saying, one terminology in the definition is computing services. So we see what the computing is, consists of computer system, the platform is there, the software is there. So all these things are there, which are constituting the computer system. Another terminology is the services. So let us see in detail what is the services. Services means if user get anything in a ready-made form, it is called the service. Many examples are there in the day-to-day life which are used as a service by the user or by the person. Example written in this slide is of the hotel service. Hotel service provide you the ready-made food. Suppose you want to eat pizza. You go to the hotel. In the hotel, you order the pizza, you get the pizza, and easily you can eat the pizza, and you are getting a desired dish. Another possibility is that you find out the ingredient of the pizza, collect those ingredients, know the recipe, cook the pizza, and then you can eat the pizza. So that is not the service, but the hotel who is giving you the prepared pizza is the service for you. So, and another example we can see is of the electricity. The electricity board is providing you the connection of the electricity. And you can just, after getting the connection, you just switch on, switch off for operating your appliances. There is no botheration how the electricity is generated, how it is maintained, how it is coming to your house, how the supplies, and nothing is your botheration. That is, you are getting ready-made electricity, so it is a service. Another example is the ready-made clothes. So one way is get the material, get the design done, stitches, and then wear the cloth. The another mechanism is you get the ready-made dress. So just from the variety of the dresses, select the dress and it is easily available directly to you. So whatever is available to the user in a ready-made form is called the service. Somebody is there who is making the things ready-made for the user, and that somebody is the agency who is preparing the things for you. And that agency is called the service provider, who is ready-madely preparing the food, preparing the things to the user. In the hotel example, the hotel is the service provider because hotel is preparing the dishes for you and providing you. So it is not automatically available to the user. It is prepared by somebody. Somebody put their efforts, their money for providing you those services. So whenever we talk about the services, there is a service provider who is preparing those services and giving those services to the user. So service is always related, accompanied by the service provider. Payment of the service, because the service provider is putting their effort, putting their money for providing you the service. So as a user, you are required to pay for those services to the user. So service provider is there who is taking the pains for providing you the services, putting their money for giving you the services. So in return, user is required again to pay for this to the service provider, whatever the services. In the hotel, if you are consuming 2 dishes or you are ordered 2 dishes, you are paying for 2 dishes. If you are ordered for the 4 dishes, so as per your consumption, you are giving the payment to the user. In case of electricity, whatever the consumption, monthly consumption of the electricity is there, according to the payment is done to the electricity board. In cloud computing, we are saying it is providing the computing services to the user. Computing services, computing system is consist of 3 layers: infrastructure, platform, and software. So these 3 things, infrastructure, platform, and software, is available to the user in the ready-made form, and they are provided by the cloud service provider. Now, how these 3 layers, not necessarily the user is taking all the 3 services. User can take only the service of the infrastructure, or only for the platform, or only for the software, or all the 3, or the combination of 2. Whatever is desired by the user can be taken by the user. Now, in detail, we see what this infrastructure, platform, or software services are. Before going into the detail, as I'm saying you that because the cloud services are providing the computing services, so the cloud service providers are there. And few names are, there are many cloud service providers. Few examples are Amazon Web Services. They are very familiar examples. Google App Engine, Microsoft Azure, Salesforce.com. These are very popular cloud service providers. And because the computing services are available to the user, they are provided by the service provider. So again, here the payment is required by the user to the cloud service provider, because these are the ready-made services which are prepared by the cloud service provider to provide the user. Now we go into the detail of the services of the cloud computing system. One of the services is the infrastructure as a service. As I am telling you that infrastructure means either you are getting a complete computer system, or you are getting only the storage, or you are getting only the networking. So in case of a complete computer system, we are getting a virtual instance of the computer system. It is not is physically available to the user, but it works as a physical system for the user. Suppose you are getting a virtual instance of a Ubuntu system, which consists of two CPUs and having 64 GB RAM and having around 1 terabyte of the memory. So, if you are submitting that request to the service provider, that configuration is available to the user. If you want only the storage, if you put the request only for the storage, the example of the storage is the Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, etc. They are the storage which are ready-madely available to you. You just create your login and you get the storage service from the cloud service provider. And the networking services are given by the cloud service provider for making the virtual private cloud. Example is Amazon Web Services providing one service whose name is Elastic Cloud Computing, which is popularly called EC2. So it is providing you a virtual instance of the computer system to the user, and user can use that system, work on that system like a physical system. And if we talk about the storage which is provided by the Amazon, is simple storage service, that is S3. So it can be used by the user for storage. Similarly, the networking services are also provided by the Amazon Web Service. Platform as a service. So, for example, the platform of the Python or Python environment for running and writing the program is available as an open source, and anybody can free download that Python environment, install it, and can work on it. But another way is to get it from the cloud. Google App Engine is providing, or Azure is product. What is the difference between these two cases? In one case, the hardware is managed by you, the environment is managed by you, configuration done by you, whatever APIs or libraries are required by the user, they are to be taken care by the user. But in case of a cloud, the hardware is taken care by the service provider. On that, the platform is deployed, and any upgradation, maintenance of that platform is taken care by the cloud service provider. So, if a user wants a convenience of configured maintenance-free developing environment, then it is provided by the cloud. Software as a service. One way is to find out the requirement and do the designing, prepare the architecture of the software, write the code, uh, get the database to be implemented, and all these things are to be done by the user. Another way is to get that prepared software from the cloud service provider. For example, Salesforce.com provides the CRM. So CRM can be directly available without bothering about writing the code, deploying it, running it, testing it, directly available from the user. So it is a software as a service for the user. Other example, we can see all the social media platforms or Google Doc, document management ka jo, this is one of the software, and all the e-commerce platform like Flipkart, Amazon, they are all the examples of the software as a service of the cloud. So we can see these three services which are provided by the cloud service provider. After that, we talk about what are the characteristics of the cloud computing. There are 5 peculiar characteristics of cloud computing system. And the first service is on-demand self-service. What is the meaning of on-demand self-service? For example, a user is using some developing a software or deployed a software, and whose hardware it changes with time. So sometimes more users are there. So for getting a consistent performance of that software, then more hardware is required. If there are less number of user, the software gives same performance on the less number of resources or less number of hardware. So as per the demand of the user or as per the demand of the software application, the hardware is available. So this is called, and why it is called self-service? Because user can put the request without any human intervention or from the intervention from the cloud service provider. Simply on the portal of the cloud service provider, submit the demand, get the demand executed in a very short duration or of the time depending on the internet application, etc. So as per the demand of the user submit the demand on the service provider portal without any human intervention. The services are available to the user. The next characteristic is the broad network access. Broad network access means there are variety of the devices on which you can get the cloud services. But the condition is that those devices are capable of supporting the internet connection. So on the internet, on the variety of the devices, maybe mobile phone, maybe tablet, maybe laptop, any server or desktop, the user can get the cloud services. Resource pooling. Now, as theoretically the infinite resources or the hardware is available, or for the software, the infinite user can work at a time on the software, or there are infinite number of hardware is available to the user. So how it is possible in the cloud? There is a pool of resources in the data center. So service provider having large data center where large number of servers are there, and they are of the different configuration. They are connected in a distributed manner or connected by a distributed technology. So pool of hardwares are available, and those pool of hardware contains the pool of virtualized instances of the of the computer system or the storage or the networking. And now from those pool of resources, user get the resources as per their requirement. And this resources means any hardware of the computer system or any software or any platform licenses, etc. for the use. Rapid elasticity, a very, very important and the peculiar characteristic of cloud computing system. So what is the scalability, or in other words, it is also called the scalability, which is only available in the cloud computing system. And what happens by this characteristic? Suppose you deploy a software on the cloud. And as I am telling you that if the number of users are changing, then the requirement of the hardware is also changing to give the persistent or consistent performance by the software. So the in cloud, once the software application is deployed, and if there is a change in the need of the hardware for making the hardware consistent, it is then the number of resources or the hardware required for the software can automatically decrease or increase. If the number of users are less, then hardware is automatically decrease. If number of users increases with time, then the hardware is also increases with time. This is called scalability or the elasticity, and it is very fast. It will not take time. You are using the Facebook. Always you are getting the consistent performance or speed of the Facebook, but number of users are variable. Sometimes there are very large number of users, sometimes there are very less number of users who are accessing the Facebook. So suppose Amazon e-commerce services there. If the Black Friday is there, the number of users are very large. So for getting the same consistent, the hardware required is more. So automatically there is a increase in the hardware. But in the normal time, there are less number of users. So less hardware is automatically reduced if the number of users are less. This is the elasticity or the scalability in the cloud computing system. Measured services. What is the meaning of the measured services? Measured services means because you're paying to the cloud service provider as per your consumption of the services, then they are the measured services, means your services are monitored, your services are controlled, your services are built, and then it is possible for you to get the bill of your consumed services, and you are accordingly paying for that. High availability and reliability, that is also a very good characteristic. What happens is, I am telling you that in the data center, large number of servers or hardwares are there. They are connected in a distributed manner. So if some system fails because of any technical fault, the other systems are available for the user for providing the services. So the total collapse of the system is not there. And generally, there is a possibility, is always availability of the hardware. For example, we are working on the Google Drive. So Google Drive is always available to the user. Whenever user want to access, simple access the Google Drive and get the data. Reliability means whenever you are storing the data on the Google Drive, you are getting the same data, and whenever you want that data, that is the reliability of the cloud services. If you are storing the data, then you are getting the data in the form, whatever data you store, same data is available to you and whenever desired by the user. So that is the reliability on the cloud computing system. Multi-tenancy characteristic. Multi-tenancy characteristic means on the single server, there are multiple virtual instances. So multiple user at the same time is on the same server are accessing different virtual instances which are working in an isolated manner. They are not interfering the working of each other, although the hardware is same. But they are working on the virtualized instances which are the independent instances. They are not affected by the working of other virtual instances which are present on that hardware. So this is called the multi-tenancy characteristic. Multi-tenant are working at the same time on the same hardware or on the same software, etc. Security. Generally, cloud provide the secured system. In the AWS, identity access management is available. Means you can define the identity, you can define the access rights of that user. In this way, the security is there, data encryption is there, or different. They are also following different compliances and the industry standard. In the cloud computing system, they are secured in nature. Now, we talk about lot about the characteristic services. So what benefit we are getting from the cloud computing system? So no upfront commitment, means there is no need of developing a software development center for writing the software, for developing the software, or for starting the business of the software. Because whatever your requirement is there, submitted to the service provider, and you are getting the services on demand, on the spot, whenever desired by the user. So previously, there is no requirement of establishing a big software development center where the user can develop the software. User can access the services of the cloud and develop their software. So there is no upfront commitment, means pre-establishment of some data center or a lab is required for using the cloud computing facilities. Nice pricing. As I'm telling you that the multi-tenancy is there. Single server is used by the multiple users, so the cost is divided among the multiple users. Because cost is divided among the multiple users, so it is shared by the multiple users, so automatic reduction in the cost is there. And it is a utility service. User is paying as per the consumption of the service. If you are availing the services of only 5 GB, it is free. If you are going for 15 GB, you might require to pay according to your 15 GB subscription. But if you are going for more higher storage requirement, then in that case, you are required to pay more money. So according to the requirement of the user consume the computing services and pay for those services. Now, as no capital investment is there, so no blocking of the money is there in developing the infrastructure. Whenever you want, go to the portal of the cloud service provider. If you don't have the account, so ask the person to create an account for you and get the services for you. Simplified application acceleration and scalability. In the cloud, already developed services are there. So user can aggregate those services and get a new value added services. So in a very simplified manner, in an accelerated manner, by using already available service or already deployed code, which is already available to the user, integrate those already available code or services and get the new value added services in a very, very short duration of time. So very accelerated way it is possible to develop code, develop a software for by the user. For example, the another technique which is used by the cloud computing system is a DevOps technique. So in DevOps, all the operation of the software development, including maintenance, testing, they are automatic. So they can be easily used by the user. Scalability, I already explained, the resources can be increased and decreased as per the requirement of the user. Efficient resource allocation. Now, single server, multiple virtual instances. So, a single server is full capacity is used by the multiple user. If single user is working and if it is using the partial capacity of the working of the server, then it is not efficient utilized. So the resources are efficient utilized means a single server is shared among the multiple tenants, and another way is that the as per the demand the resources are available to the user. So they, if we already pre-establish software development center is there and where all the computer systems are not presently used by the software developer, then there is a wastage of resources. That resource is not used by anybody. So it is remain idle and there is a wastage of the resources. So in cloud, as per the requirement, the resources are available. So there is a efficient resource utilization. If only one server is working presently and 10 users are working at the client, and then there is a less consumption of the energy. The less number of hardware is running, then less number of the consumption of the energy is there. And because less amount of energy consumption is there, uh, the energy efficient system is there. It is environmentally friendly system because if less electricity is used, then less carbon emission is there. And if less carbon emission is there, then it is a eco-friendly system or help the nature. Independency of the cloud services. We can take the example, suppose Instagram is there, it is a software service of the cloud. On that Instagram, any user can create their account. There is no restriction of the user. And if you are not personally, it is not possible for you presently to be on your social networking website. So still, any user can use the services and at any time whenever desired by the user, or because it is working on the internet and globally the internet connection if it's available. So on wherever the internet is there, independent of the location, the cloud services are available to the user. Seamless creation and the use of the third party services. By aggregating seamlessly, we are getting a value added service. And on that value added service, if you want to use on the cloud some third party services, then that third party services are available to the user. What are the technologies used in the cloud computing system? Distributed computing, virtualization, web 2.0, service oriented computing, utility oriented. Only the names are given here. These are a little bit big topics, so they are not explained here, but these are the names of the technology. Distributed computing, the hardware is connected in a distributed manner. The services are available in a virtualized manner to the user. It is working on the web 2.0 because the interaction with the services are possible. So the technology is web 2.0, the services are available. So service-oriented computing is used, in which the race services are there or soap services are there. So the service-oriented computing architecture is there. Utility-oriented computing means as per your consumption of the service as a user, you are paying to the service provider. If you are using the less services, then you are paying less. If you are consuming more services, then you are paying more. So these are the utility oriented computing. Now, why already a system is there, already the computer systems are used by the user, client server technology is there. Now, why the need arises of the cloud computing? So some drawbacks are there, or some complexity is there in the old system. For example, I want to work on the desktop. So there is a need of a desktop for me, or I want to work on a laptop. Then there is a need of a laptop to me. So according to my requirement, I decide the configuration. Then I know the requirement, and accordingly I decide the configuration. So different vendors are there who are providing those configuration to you. So according to your budget, first decide the budget, and then according to your budget, you get that hardware, and you are required to maintain that hardware, then load the operating system, load the developing environment, then work on that computer system. So if some failure occur so it is a very complex process. But what happens in case of a cloud computing? Just go to the AWS, give the requirement of your configuration. On the click of the mouse, you are getting that virtualization, and you start working on that within a few minutes. So these are the advantages. Second thing is that the client server technology is already available. But in client server technology, the problem of single point of failure is there. There is one server, there are multiple client. Backup server is also there. But though two servers are there, so may the fault occur in those servers. And because of that, it may possible that it is not possible. Now the computing facility cannot be used by the user. But in all these problems are overcome in the cloud computing system. There is no single point of failure. It is very simple to get the hardware or the software service or the platform services by the user. So this because of this, the need arises for the cloud computing system. So this is all the introductory part of the cloud computing system. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.